Okay, everybody. YouTube, Facebook, family, friends, everybody. This is a little different video than I usually do, but it's interesting to me, and I figured I'd pass it on. I know if nobody's heard of Nostradamus, he lived a long time ago and was a seer for kings and stuff. I'm not sure if I have his birthday. I just know he was French and wrote a book, Les Prophéties, and he had to write it in kind of code because in that time, if they had thought he was predicting the future, they would look at him, well, they would behead him, like he was black magic or something like that. But I don't know if any of you know of a lady by the name of Baba Vanga. Not Baba, not like in Hellboy, Baba Vargas or whatever, but Baba, I think means grandmother, in where she lived at. But I'm going to tell you some of the predictions for Baba Vanga, who she died in 1996 and was born in 1911, and in a storm when she was like 11 or 12 years old or something like that, it struck her blind. So I think she was struck by lightning and she was struck blind. Even to the point where she died, skin had grown over her eyes, and it was, yeah, she was a strange looking lady, but people would come from all around and she could predict the exact date of their death. And many times she nailed it to the day, which is kind of scary just in itself. But that's just giving you a little bit of background on her. Like I said, Vanga, 1911 to 1996. One of her predictions. This is not the 2022. This is prior to 9/11. This is her prediction. American brethren will fall after being attacked by the steel birds, and innocent blood will be gushing. Twin Towers is what she was relating that to. Because she was born later than Nostradamus, so she didn't write many parables, and you could understand them a little more. Place called Kursk, Kursk, will be covered with water. This is another one. And the whole world will weep over it. Well, a submarine sank when she predicted around that time. 118 men drowned, and a lot of people did have sorrow where they lost their family members. Baba also, she predicted this: all will fall as if ice. Only one remains untouched: Vladimir's glory of Russia. She predicted this before Vladimir Putin he was ever even thought about being in office, and she predicted him and his name. A little spooky. Here's some of Baba Vanga predictions for 2022. Her first one: a swarm of locusts. That's already been going on in Arabia and East Africa. It's happening now and has been recently, and it's horrendous. You can look up videos on it. It's happening, and it's bad. And if I'm not mistaken, that's almost biblical. So there's number one for Baba Vanga 2022. Number two, 2022, a deadly virus from Siberia. Predicting this will be from the thaw of the icebergs. It's going to release a virus this year, and it's supposed to be bad, really bad. Not like this made-up virus, or I'm not saying made-up. It is a virus, but it will dwarf this one. We're talking about something around the Black Plague time, and the percentages are the same. So the deaths will be greatly increased because of the percentage. It could be something to that effect. So Yeah, not good. This is another one for 2022 for Baba Vanga. Extraterrestrial contact. We will see that this year, but this will be bad for humans. This is not contact. She don't predict contact to the year 2130, and then they will be contact with extraterrestrial life. This year, it will be kind of like they're on a scouting mission, and they will be people missing this year, never to be found. And it's where possibly aliens have come and taken them away. So it's just kind of that's one of them things. That's number 3 for Baba Vanga. Number 4, water shortages. Predicted it. Been happening more than it's been happening. Water will be worth more than oil. All of the very, very rich, we're talking about the elite rich, are buying up all of the fresh water sources that they can put their hands on. They are just buying them left and right. Anything they can buy, fresh water, they are buying it, and they're buying it in mass quantities. That should give you a clue. But it has been happening, like I said, and that's this year. So possibly this year, water could be worth more than oil. Number 5, more natural disasters. Well, we've been seeing that for the last few years anyway. Some really major natural disasters. Baba Vanga is predicting Austria and Asia volcanoes like you've never seen, earthquakes, tsunamis, just really, really, really bad natural disasters. Worse than we've seen in the last couple of years, and we've seen some bad ones with a lot of death and a lot of destruction. So there's that. That's number 5. Then number 6, virtual. She has predicted this prior. She has predicted virtual reality. And as everybody knows, he also said, we will confuse reality with fantasy. That's crazy in itself. Mark Zuckerberg, I'm not good with names, Zuckerberg and the metaverse. Virtual reality. Confuse reality with fantasy. In other words, you'll think that fantasy is reality and reality is fantasy. That's a little spooky, for sure. And that was number 6 for Baba. And now we'll go to Nostradamus, which was French. He wrote a book called Les Prophéties. And I did take French, but I didn't learn shit, so I hope I got that close. It was wrote in a weird kind of... he had to do it like in code. He wrote it in code. It was to keep him from being beheaded in that time, because he could be black magic or anything, and they would have cut his head off. But he was a seer to many very, very prominent people in his time. He was a seer, which is kind of predict the future type things, back in his era, which was quite some couple hundred years ago. This is one of the things he did predict. How and when Henry II would die to the date. And he nailed it. He also told them that Henry II's mistress that had 4 of his sons would all be kings. And all 4 of them became kings. Nostradamus hit it on the head, nailed it. Okay, that's just a little bit of his past on, there was more, and you should see my chicken scratch. I'm trying to, because I wrote it down fast so I can get this video out. Number 1, this is 2022 Nostradamus, and the scary thing is, a lot of them go along with Baba Vanga has predicted also. So These two people they was born in different time periods. They had never even met or known each other, and they're predicting the same thing in a lot in 2022. This is the first one, Nostradamus, for 2022. Death of a leader. Could be one of many, and that's true. It could be one of many. The sudden death of the first character will be changed, and they will put another in his kingdom. Some world leader will die. And like you said, that could be many different world leaders. That's number one. Number two, the end of Europe. Baba predicted this too. Sacred temples of Rome. Time will reject the foundations of their foundation. Many think this is the fall of Europe. And Baba Vanga, too, she was thinking more along the Catholic Church fell in the last persecution of the Holy Roman Catholic Church. There will sit Peter the Roman, who will pasture his sheep in many tribulations. And when these are finished, the city, Severn Hills, will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will be his people. The end. That was Baba Vanga, and both of them they were on the same path. Number three, cannibalism. Now this ought to be interesting. People are so hungry they start eating people. And I know this reminded me of, if you've ever watched The Walking Dead, there are a lot of Walking Dead fans out there. I was one at one time. But that's very, very, very disturbing when you're so hungry you're willing to eat your neighbor. Just think about it. Cannibalism, eating humans. So high the price of wheat, the man is stirred, his fellow man to eat in his despair. And I just put scary in big letters and parentheses right behind that. Scared the shit out of me. Number four, boiling temperatures. This is the quote. Like the sun, the head will seal the shining sea. The live fish of the Black Sea will almost boil. They're predicting temperatures of between like 140, 130, 140 degrees in the Black Sea and around there. And that's hot. And scary. Number five, AI and virtual reality. Now, this is Nostradamus. And Baba Vanga predicted this too. AI and virtual reality. The moon in the full of night over the high mountain. The new sage with a long brain sees it. By his disciples invited to be immortal. Eyes to the south. Eyes is to the south. Hide in the bosoms. Bodies in the fire. No, hands in the bosoms. Bodies in the fire. This is danger for humans, metaverse type thing. It took me a minute to write all that in, and that's just a little bit of it. I can tell you, I watched another YouTuber, very, very interesting. But I've always known about Nostradamus, and I have read a lot of quotes from him and other things, and it's interesting on how they can predict this so far back and give you a date hundreds of years away and get it so correct. Just that right there scares me. But that's what I got. But if you would like to see more, I watched this channel, and it's Carpathian Adventures, I think. Hang on, I'll give you the exact email address, because a lot of my information I got from I got it from him. Yes, it is called Carpathian Adventure, and it's like the Carpathian Mountains. Look it up. I had to. It is a big mountain place, in not on this continent. It's in Europe, I'm sure. And yeah, that's where I get this from. Is that one is Carpathian Adventures, and the guy is very, very smart. He's a book writer. Um, he's a survivalist. He is a prepper. He don't put nobody kind of in a category. He's kind of do all type things. Although he's kind of like me. Man has been prepping since man evolved. If it is in a climate where it's warm, you prep all summer, and so you'll have something to eat all winter. This has been going on for millenniums, since man was put on Earth, period. So, I would prefer to call myself a survivalist. I would rather prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And if I prepare for the worst, stock a little food, have something to protect myself, swords and knives. I'm big on blades. That's more personal. If I was going to hurt somebody, and they deserved it that bad, if that was going to kill one of my family, I would rather do it eye to eye, man to man. And I'm not talking about a blade. I'm talking about a sword. You know. Well, the sword that I've got, it's not a heavy one. It's one you can move around, but it's about 3.5, 4 foot long. So it's a sword, and I'll have a staff for defense. It's a nice staff, about my height, and it's you can kill with it, but it's more for defense. And I would rather be defensive if it's an unarmed person. I will be prepared for people with boomsticks. I won't be unprepared for that. I'm not one of the stupid ones that take a knife to a gunfight. I won't. I refuse to do that. So anyway, I wanted to give you all some predictions from Baba Vanga and Nostradamus that were, how would I say it? Shoot for I spilt some 7-Up. Interesting, but more a little bit on the scary side because on how much they have gotten right in the past. I don't get nothing but, if nobody has ever tried this Lipton Georgia peach tea, try it. I have a hard time finding it, and when I do, I wipe them out. I found 3 12-packs. That's all they had at Kroger's, and I got 2 12-packs they had, and that's all I had, and I drank them. I said, man, them are great. It took me 3 weeks to get 3 more 12-packs. So I told Mark, you can have 1 or 2, but I like my peach lemon, my Lipton peach tea, Georgia tea. Lipton Georgia peach tea. I knew I'd get it out. It's a mouthful. But anyway, I kept it under 20 minutes from about 18.5 minutes. I want to tell everybody I love them. Stay close to your family because they're the most important thing in your life. Your close family will stand behind you when nobody else will. They'll love you when nobody else will. That has been my experience in the past, in my 56 years on this earth. And it's what I have just noticed. I pay attention. I try to learn from my mistakes. I'm hard-headed. When I was younger, it took several times of the same mistake for me to say, damn, that's not working out. Maybe I need to change something. But I finally figured it out as I got older. And like I said, I'm happy now. I'm not a rich man, but rich can be looked at in many different ways. Rich can be monetary, stacks of $100 bills. But what I'm talking about is happiness in my soul. Happy with me. Just being content and happy. And being able to relax and not completely stress out to the max. It's been a little bit cold, and I'm going to try to take care of myself, but it's been beautiful. I've got out today. We did some a little bit of yard work. So if this weather stays cooperative, I'll try to get outside and do a video out in nature. Had another beautiful sunset. I've got a few pictures that I will post if you would like me to. Just comment on my Facebook, because I'm going to download this to my Facebook after I load it up to YouTube. Just give me a comment that you would enjoy seeing the sunset pictures, and I'll continue to post them for you. And if you would like to see more of me getting out, I need to get out more, but I'm not going to get out in really cold if it's 10 degrees or something. I'll wait till it warms up at least to 40 or in the mid to upper 30s anyway. So yeah, I love you all. You know what I'm about to say. Stay strong, stay free.